Welcome to SOLIDWORKS for the Engineering Design Process, Introduction, Section 2. In this lesson, you're going to learn about the user interface in SOLIDWORKS. You'll learn how to open existing parts as well as how to access the built-in help and tutorials. You'll also take a look at commonly used tools, part properties, and you'll be introduced to the powerful 3D Content Central database. To open SOLIDWORKS, double-click the desktop icon, or click the Start button and navigate to the SOLIDWORKS shortcut. Begin by opening an existing part. SOLIDWORKS includes several sample parts and assemblies. To open these, click Open. Navigate to the Program Files, click SOLIDWORKS Corp, SOLIDWORKS, and Samples. This folder contains many parts, drawings, and assemblies you can use to practice with. Use these to get familiar with the interface and tools provided by SOLIDWORKS. This folder also contains the files used in the tutorials that are built into SOLIDWORKS. Open your first part by clicking Tutorial, Lesson 1, and Tutor 1A. To gain more insight on the tools and features of SOLIDWORKS, you can access the SOLIDWORKS help and tutorials. To access these, click the Help drop-down menu and select either Help or Tutorials. If Help is clicked, a new window appears. In this window you can find helpful information on topics listed along the left, or simply type whatever you're looking for into the search bar. Clicking Tutorials also brings up a new window. The tutorials built into SOLIDWORKS can be a useful resource for practice or review. Let's return to SOLIDWORKS and familiarize ourselves with the user interface. The most commonly used tools for creating three-dimensional CAD drawings are all located in the Command Manager. Hover over any of the icons for a brief description of what they do. On the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see several of SOLIDWORKS menus. You'll find the Feature Manager design tree, the Property Manager, the Configuration Manager, and the DIM Expert Manager. You'll see how to use these menus later on in these tutorials. By default, SOLIDWORKS has many toolbars open, such as the task pane. Depending on what you're using SOLIDWORKS to model, you may need quick access to different toolbars. To view or hide certain toolbars, right-click anywhere on the Command Manager and select the toolbars you want to make visible. You can also drag the toolbar to customize its location. Each part's characteristics and dimensions can be changed by accessing and manipulating the properties of that part. For example, to change the thickness of this part, right-click and then click the Edit Feature icon to open the Property Manager. Here you can change the depth to 100 mm, for example. Click the green check mark on the Property Manager, or on the top right of the graphics window to apply the changes. An attractive feature of SOLIDWORKS is the 3D Content Central database. This is a very large database of three-dimensional parts and assemblies that have been collected from SOLIDWORKS users worldwide. To access the database, locate the Design Library in the Task panel, expand the 3D Content Central tab, and double-click on the supplier content. Now open the All Categories folder, and then double-click on the web icon. Now you have access to thousands of pre-made SOLIDWORKS parts. You can also locate a part based on the type of industry that uses it. Just click Community Favorites and select the desired industry. For example, click Electrical and then click Motors. You can download any of these motors by selecting the one you want and clicking Configure and Download. Note that you will need to register to gain access to the content. If you have already registered, enter your login information and click Login. You are automatically returned to the selected part and are now ready to open it in SOLIDWORKS. This part can be downloaded in 3D or 2D format. In this case, select 3D. Next, deselect Zipped so that once it's downloaded, you can directly drag the part into SOLIDWORKS. Once this is done, the part can be modified or used as part of your projects. In this lesson, you learned about the user interface in SOLIDWORKS. You learned how to open existing parts, as well as how to access the built-in help and tutorials. You also saw some commonly used tools, part properties, and were introduced to the 3D Content Central database.